Hello, welcome back to Auto Pop Culture. Today we're going over the album by Half Alive called Now Not Yet. This group is somebody that I haven't really got deeper into. I got like two songs like Still Feel and Arrow. Still Feel was something I came across. Like it was one of the things that was so popular that just like the music video was so popular that they threw it that was like suggested to me. So I started listening. I watched the music video and I liked the dancing. I love when songs that you don't expect them to dance, like a group to dance, and they all dance. Like the band is dancing. You don't. Not a lot of bands are dancing. So that already pulled me in, and the song was pretty cute. But then I also heard Arrow, like I want to say month later, and I really liked that song. It was a really good song, so I was like, okay, this is cute. So I kind of went away from it because those are two songs, but I had like other songs coming out and everything, and I like removed myself away from them, and then I got like reintroduced to them from like one of my friends who was like, oh, I just really love this song, which was the Still Feel. And so I was like, okay, I need to like actually get into their songs. And of course, I came across them again, and so they had an album out. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go in completely blind and just kind of just go listen to the meaning, listen to the sound, and just go from there. I haven't watched any more music videos from them. I haven't done anything other than just listen to the full album completely blind. And so this is me talking about the album, like without any music video influence other than the one song. So let's go. So let's get started into it. So the first song is Okay Okay question mark. So this song is really fun. Like the one thing I like about this band is that they do not stay with one sound sometimes. Well, not they do. There is a general sound that they're doing, but there's pieces they'll add like production to it, or they'll like fake you out with one production and they'll do a complete switch up. This song actually does that. Like the misleading beginning with the guitar is one thing, so you start hearing it and you're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be intense, and then it completely throws away and it's like much more smoother production. So I like this song because it pretty much talks about the weighing the options between being okay with being you or falling into the expectations of other people. So I think from what I read is that I understood that they were not meaning to be super super huge at the same time that they also with the turn of having Still Feel being the new song that actually brought them into mainstream, they realized it's like, oh, okay, like we're in the mainstream now. We have to figure out what we want to do with that. And I think in the struggle they're trying to figure out is like, do we still remain who we are, or do we have to switch up a little bit of our style to kind of be into like the way that everybody else is? And so it's that whole back and forth kind of feel. The production has a fun switch up that happens with horns and guitar at the end, which is really nice, which is one of the things they do in many of their songs. But it's a good song. Number two is Runaway. So this one is another topic about talking about how they're trying not to run away from who they are. So it's kind of adding on to, I think they start making up their minds like, okay, I think it's probably better to just embrace who we are, who they are, the individual lead singer, maybe like who he is. I'm assuming that he wrote the majority of the songs, because it seems whenever I looked up like information about the songs, they kind of went more directly to the lead singer. So I'm assuming it's about him. So he tries to figure out if it's like he's trying not to hide from himself of who he is, because he always wants to be somebody, but he always ends up being somebody else kind of thing. Like it's just like it's one of those things where he's trying to figure out who he is. It's trying to be comfortable in his own skin. Number three is Maybe. So this production is really interesting. Like I like the production itself, but I definitely like how like in the bridge part of it, it kind of turns into like this video game sound, which is really nice. And then the chorus has like explosion that's really nice of production. One thing I did like from the song was maybe fear can't define all the walls until you've entered. And so I think that's what he's saying, is that you never know like fear is the only thing that's going to define you until you actually do what you came to do or what you want to do, you know. Like it's all like fear is always going to be there, you know. It's always going to be standing right in your face. Doubt is going to be there. Insecurity is going to be there. It's not, and so you can either fall into it and just kind of give in to the fear, or you can kind of just go past it and push through it, you know. So I think that's kind of cool. Number 4 is the notion. So this is a very interesting interlude. I think it's an interlude. It's pretty much a person talking to the band and saying, like, I'm surprised that you guys have faith. Not a lot of people around this time, especially young, that are young and have faith, you know. And so I think that that's kind of speaks to a lot of things. It's just like, not a lot of us do have faith. Like, I'm not entirely, like, I am more leaning to more spiritual, if anything, than I am a direct like religion, you know. Like I don't have like I'm not like an atheist or anything, but like it's one of those type of things, you know. And it's just like I think that a lot of people are in that situation too. It's just like there's a lot of things happening where I don't really believe that there's a God out there looking to have this happen or is testing me at every angle, because there's a lot of tests and not a lot of results, you know. So it's just like I can see a lot of people feeling that way, because I felt that way multiple times too. And I think that they're kind of saying like it's so refreshing to see somebody that's still, even with all that coming on, they still believe in a higher power. Number 5 is Still Feel, period. So this is a very smooth production. This is a song I was talking about, the one that broke them into mainstream, which is I found out that they weren't really looking, they purposely did this song, produced this song to where it didn't really fit right as being a radio song. But of course, much to their surprise, it became a very popular song. It's the one that broke them out of their little indie area. I like the music video, the dancing and everything. I mentioned that earlier. I like the music video. I think it's really cute, really fun. This song is pretty much trying to pulling himself from the darkness to the light, and trying to find a way to get to the light. Number 6 is Trust. A very interesting song as well, and one of the parts I like, he starts off the song immediately with, trust is like a pond of murky water. And I think that's true. Like, I think that what he's trying to say is just like, you don't really know you don't know who to trust, or if you can trust things to happen in a certain way. Or trust is very, like, it's never sure. You never know if trust is actually worth it sometimes. And I think that's what he pretty much says, like, jumping into things, trying things, and just trusting that it's going to work out, you know. I like the sound. I like the production of this. It's that's a bit of a droning sound to it. I also love once again, they have explosion of production in the outro, and I think it's kind of cool. Number 7 is Arrow. Arrow is one of my other favorite songs off the album. It actually reminds me a lot of Two Door Cinema Club. Because it just, the way that he sings and the pitch that he sings and the way that the drums and everything happens, like if they said, oh yeah, I rewrote that song, I wouldn't be surprised. But I like the song. I like the beginning that he says. He's like, life begins to happen when I'm planning something else. And I think what he's saying is that he pretty much is saying that, like, he wants the world to kind of slow down so he kind of can process everything and move forward. But he can't really do that with everything's, like, he tries to start something, but something else starts happening, so he gets distracted. And he has to, like, figure out on that one. And he's, like, on an always ongoing movement to move on, and he hasn't had time to absorb or take note of what's actually happening, because he's always moving on to the next one, you know. Life is kind of moving fast, and he also points out it's just like the middle of the journey is one of the hardest parts, and the most uncertain part, because you don't really know like where it's going to end. You saw the beginning, but now you're in this little middle part that's to keep going, you know. I love the sound in the second chorus, because it starts off pretty mellow, not mellow, but it starts off pretty energetic, but then it kind of like with lower key of production. But then when it goes into the second chorus, it's just like kind of thing, like insane sound to it. I think it's kind of fun. Number 8 is Pure Gold. I love the piano beginning of it. I think it's really cute. This song so I looked up the meaning of the song, and it was a little more complicated than I understood, but what I got from it is that he wants you to see the beauty of the world. He wants to see like like us stop. It seems like he's talking to the people, the audience. So he wants us to stop and figure out what we're doing, and kind of like he's basically kind of telling us how to process how we see things and how to like kind of motivate us to go forward and when to stop, when to go, you know. So it's interesting. Number 9 is Ice Cold featuring Kimbra. Love Kimbra. I think Kimbra's just so underrated. I think she has a great voice. I think she has a lot of topics that she talks about, and it's amazing. This song is pretty much a very uplifting, like saying just like stop thinking about, like stop seeing just the negative of everything and start kind of viewing the positive parts of things. Like everybody's very stuck on the past of them, their past and what's going on and the negatives that's around them. They don't even notice the positive things that are happening around them as well. And so I think he wants like us to kind of stop and like think about those things. And I love the part that elevate kind of thing. Like I love the elevate part in the bridge is kind of cool. Kind of makes it more of a rhythmic like sounds, kind of nice. Number 10 is Rest, which I thought was going to be interlude, but it is not. It is a slower song, which is nice to complement the title. I like the production with the very heavy drums in the chorus. It's really, really nice. This is featured Sam Henshaw. Never heard of Sam Henshaw, but I personally think his voice is very sexy, and he has a great voice. Like, I think he has a great vocals, and this song is pretty much saying it needs to slow down for clarity. Like, he slowed down to absorb everything, which is something that pretty much the Arrow was kind of saying, pretty much. Number 11 is Breakfast, which is, I don't really know what Breakfast has to do with anything with the song, but, so, I like this, my gist of what I got from the song is pretty much being the strength of being open. Like that's what it says. Like there's strength in the open, and pretty much saying it's okay to open your heart, open yourself, and be vulnerable. It's really great, and it kind of lets you learn a lot about yourself, a lot about other people, you know. And I think it's kind of like encouraging some openness from people. It's very soft, very like soothing, like dreamy sound to it in the productions. It's really nice. And finally, number 12 is Creature. So Creature is pretty much about him saying that God guides him throughout the world, like throughout his everything he does. Now, I wanted to talk more about that because I feel like it was, to me, I always had this whole like joke in my head. I was like, oh, I always get trapped in some like Christian songs sometimes because it's just like the songs nowadays are so blended in. Like with the lack of, with much respect, like they found a way to actually like sound mainstream. A lot of the songs have been like very guitar and like but Jesus, you know. But now it's actually like there's production now. There's like EDM Christian people now. Like there's a lot of more hip hop going in more into that direction. You know, it's just like, and also these alternative bands are like that. I think even who are they? I can't remember their names. It's gonna literally kill me. I'm just gonna have to leave it in the comments or even like leave it in the little quotes undertone. But anyway, so it's just like so when it surprised me, I was like, oh, this is a Christian group, and they mentioned it earlier in the Notion, but it was just like, it's interesting to know that. But at the same time, because I'm not Christian myself, and I know some people that aren't Christian, and so I can see it being a negative thing. They finally see that something they like is Christian. I was like, this has nothing to do with me. But it actually could. If you think about it, it can mean a lot to you. You can take it and portray it in some whatever ways that fits your life. So if you believe in a universe, if you believe in like something a different type of higher power, I think one thing I like about Christianity, one thing I like about religion and Buddhism is one of the things that you can kind of look at is that it's not about, you don't have to believe in the gods or the goddesses or anything. You don't have to believe that at all. It's one thing you do is take away from religion is the messages that they're trying to tell you. Like when they say love thy neighbor, you don't have to be Christian to love thy neighbor. You can also just love your neighbor or get the gist of what they're saying, which is tolerance. Tolerance in the world is what you really need. You don't technically need to believe in God to understand what tolerance is. I think that's kind of what it is, like more guidelines than actually directly believing something, you know? I think that's a lot of people lately with Christianity, why it's so toxic in ways, is because people kind of take it in so many different ways, like take it in their own little like literal way, or instead of kind of like, or take it in their own little personal thing, which is fine, but there's a lot of people that take it and they really hurt a lot of people in the process. And I think the thing is that it's a guideline, not a actual direct truth, you know? So I think that, and personally to me, that's how I see a lot of religions. I see them more as guidelines. And so I think that's kind of what they are kind of doing. Like, they didn't throw it in your face like, we're Jesus, we love Jesus, we love God. But they have their own respects to put it in there. And I appreciate that. By all means, celebrate your religion, you know. But I think what they're trying to, I think they're also, I think, in pointing out, calling themselves out that they are, have faith over, like, have faith still, and a lot of people, and acknowledging that a lot of people don't have faith, is, I think they're probably, I think they're saying, they're admitting to just like, you know, it's fine. If you don't have faith, that's fine, but take in the message I'm giving you and portray it in your own way, you know. As long as you're pulling in the message, what they're trying to say, like, which is, all the messages are great. All of their messages in this album is great. So I think that's what they're trying to say. Is just like, take in the idea of the message. You don't have to be religious or be in our same bubble of Christianity to understand it. You know, you can still take the notes. So yeah. So I like this album. I didn't really think that a lot of the song. I think the songs have some fun. Songs have a lot more messaging. I love a message. Then I love the production. The production's fun, but I feel like there's parts of it where it kind of like reminded me a lot of parts of the songs remind me of other things, like the Two Door Cinema Club. So I give this one a 6 out of 10. It's a good. I definitely am curious to see what else they're gonna do. I'm curious to see what else they're gonna do. I'm interested to see if I'm actually interested to see their music video, because I saw somebody else was talking about like the other music videos of Arrow was like pretty interesting and fun. So I'm gonna see. I'm gonna actually watch it after this and kind of see what's going on. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought. Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to see more of my videos and to be updated when I release more videos. You can also follow me on Instagram. There's a description below. And I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.